Cuckoo.
We're Isabel and Kim, girlfriends living in France and chatting about everything going on in our lives. Come hang out with us while we cheers with an Aperol Spritz, swap stories, and get into some deep talks and share what we've learned along the way. You make sure to follow us on Instagram at cuckoo.pod, and you can subscribe and leave us a review if you like the podcast.
Yay. Hi. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I would say, let's see, April 1st tomorrow, which means
I didn't even
April
realize
Fools.
that. Okay.
And also spring feels like it's finally here.
Yes, spring has sprung in Provence.
Beautiful in Provence right now. Like the flowers, it smells amazing. It's not too hot.
The sun is back.
It's been
We had kind of
week.
like a month of bad, gray, rainy weather.
Yeah. So I think people are really appreciating this. Everyone's
people are
outside
out.
drinking rosé and like there's music in the plazas yesterday in X. It was just so like beautiful. It felt very idyllic. Yes.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
So we actually saw each other a couple times this weekend.
Yes.
Saturday night we went to this restaurant I've been dying to go to since we moved here, and the problem, like every time I would go to book it, it would already be booked or there'd be a waiting list. So I just never got a reservation. But we finally went Saturday night.
So delicious.
With our husbands. And it's called Livingston. And it was really.
In Marseille.
Yeah, in Marseille. It was delicious.
Yep.
It's kind of like a small tasting menu. Like they don't have a menu. Surprise menu.
Which, by the way, is very interesting and I feel like not common in the US. That you would get.
I don't know if I've ever had a surprise menu.
This is our second one in France.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Yeah, but we've never had one in the US.
Well, I feel like if you have a tasting menu, it's always surprise, right?
No, you can usually pick.
Oh, actually, yeah, I've had a lot of these. I feel like anytime I do because I'm thinking about like Septime, like that's like a tasting menu and you don't know what's on the menu.
So interesting.
So usually maybe it's more of like a Michelin star thing, but this this isn't like a Michelin star place, but it was just the food's really
so delicious,
really good. The wine was great.
Oh, amazing.
And like the vibes were good.
Yeah,
dim,
it was good.
Small.
I would
really
say,
nice
like, you don't
staff.
have to be super quiet like in some places.
No.
It France,
was
like,
lively.
Good
it was
volume, lively.
Great place. The dessert, I like really liked the dessert.
I let you eat most of it.
I know, and I ate most of it. It was like a donut. It was kind of tasted like monkey bread.
It was like monkey bread, and then it had like chantilly, like.
It had mushroom ice cream,
that?
but it did not taste like mushrooms.
I didn't know that was mushroom ice cream.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because the theme of the night was mushrooms. That's why there were so many mushrooms, because the mushrooms are in season.
I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah, I caught that.
I was clearly more into the wine.
That's so funny. So we did that, and then I saw you yesterday because our daughters had pony together.
So cute.
They did like circus pony stuff. So there's this one really older pony that they put, I don't know if it's like, they put this like, it's not really a saddle, but it's like something with these like two handles, and it's to get like the girls like really comfortable on a horse. So they stand on the horse.
So cute.
They rode around together.
They rode backwards.
They like were upside down at one point, like lying down.
It was very cute.
But it was very cute. And then after that, I came back and we went for a hike in the Calanque. Calanque oh my gosh, I always forget it. Sujeton.
Okay, I haven't been there.
I've done the full hike once with my husband. It's awesome. It's so beautiful. But this time we kind of just did we did a mini. We didn't do the whole thing just because we have my daughter with me, and she can do about an hour 15 max of hike.
It's about all mine can do.
And then she burns out.
Yeah. It was such a beautiful day. That sounds like a lovely weekend.
Also, we had daylight savings time. This week.
This morning was rough.
And it's kind of crazy because the U.S. had it 3 weeks ago. So I've been loving it because for work,
it was
only
better
a
because we're only
5 hour
a closer
difference.
time difference.
And now we're back to the 6 hours. Yeah. But this morning we woke up the latest we've ever woken up for before school. And
because it's so dark, but then it stays light really late. So anyways.
So that was my weekend.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
What's new with you?
We, a couple things. One, so I've been really making progress. I'm taking a creative writing class, I think I mentioned. And I am working on writing a book, which I'm like super passionate and excited about. So I am right now
and you have such a great topic too.
Oh, thank you. I'm not totally ready to share my topic, but I submitted it to an editor, so I'm waiting for some feedback. But if any of you are in the journalism writing industry and know how this works, I am very new to this. So would love for you to send me a quick message.
Send her an email.
Yes.
Find her on LinkedIn.
Find me.
She loves LinkedIn.
I just
don't find me on LinkedIn. I'm
don't
never
find
there.
Isabel on LinkedIn. I feel like you maybe never really posted anything.
I've never posted anything.
I feel like my life used to be LinkedIn. So, yes. Anyways, you can find me on LinkedIn or on Instagram. Yes. So this weekend actually the past 2 weekends, we've been invited to dinner parties with French parents of my sons. And we have had just a really nice time. I would say it's a bit of like good for us because we're speaking French more than we ever used to. And also just so nice, like kind of talking about like cultural differences with them and the way they arrange a meal and entertain. So we thought that might be a good topic for today too. But yeah, the rest of the weekend
French
was lovely.
entertaining.
Yes. Yeah. So that's our topic for today. French entertaining. And there's so many different types of French entertaining, actually.
We're going to tackle the 3 that we know best.
Yes.
And then we're going to do a few do's and don'ts.
Yes. And we feel like the ones that are super, super formal, like really fancy dinner parties,
I've never been to.
I don't think they're like as common among our like generation. I feel like they're definitely either like super luxury or just like older people would
probably
be my perspective.
I think boomers.
The boomers.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. Who knows?
But still interesting. So yeah. So the 3 we're going to talk about.
Okay. So the 3 that I have been to and know the most, and I've even hosted myself, are le goute, apero, and just like regular dinner.
French dinner party.
French dinner.
Yes.
So I think the easiest, the one that is my favorite to host because it is the lowest lift is the goute.
Okay. Explain.
So we've talked about the goute on here before.
Yeah.
Goute is like the time of the day when kids, adults like have a snack.
Yes.
And so it's in between it's in between lunch and dinner.
Yes.
And since people eat so late in France, it's around 4:30.
Yep.
And so it kind of holds you over to get to dinner.
Yes.
And so one way on the weekends that I've noticed in France is you'll often get invited over for goute.
Yep.
And it's kind of an opportunity for like the kids to have a play date, the adults to talk.
Yep.
And it's usually around like 3:00 on a Saturday or Sunday.
And you want to tell them what's served?
Yeah, so usually it's just super simple. You bake like a little cake, or maybe it's usually something sweet. And then maybe you open a bottle of rosé. Maybe there's something to drink with it. Maybe there's not. The kids usually have like a sirop, but it's basically just like hanging out, eating some sugar, and it doesn't go. The thing with French, compared to my experiences in the U.S., French social events are very long.
Very long.
And so even a goûter, I feel like lasts like 3-4 hours. But at least if it's in the afternoon and like a lot of times it's Sunday. So like people have work and school the next day. So there's kind of like an end point.
Yeah.
And so I personally really like having the goûter just because it doesn't take a ton of planning. It's pretty quick to pull together. You can do it last minute, and it's just a fun way.
Normally leave.
Yeah, and people leave eventually, and it's just like fun for the kids. Like they can run around, and it's a kind of just like an easy way to have social activity on a weekend day.
We should mention, I know you've talked about this before, but the goûter is something actually in France they do every day. It's just more about making it, I would say, like an entertaining aspect.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's really just like a weekend thing.
Yeah.
Like, come to our, let's have goûter on Saturday or Sunday, whatever.
Yeah. I like that. I've never hosted a goûter, but
I've
kind of inspired.
had a bunch of them.
Okay, second one.
Okay, so the second one is more fun. Like I really like apero too.
Yeah.
This is the other one I do. I don't even know if I've ever done dinner. I don't know. Oh, I've done dinner. Like for holidays, I've done dinner.
Okay.
Thanksgiving or for Christmas. But besides that, I have not. But apero it's sort of like happy hour.
Yeah.
So you have people over, and I would say the basis of it is sort of salty snacks. And it can go from like really simple to a little bit more elaborate. So like on the most basic level, maybe you have like a bowl of chips.
Yeah.
Some saucisson, like some pickles, and that's it. And like beers or a spritz or something like that, like very, very simple. And then on the more elaborate scale, you could have...
It's normally champagne. I feel like I've always had champagne.
Yeah.
Or spritz?
Yeah, I feel like usually do spritz or, you could do champagne. You could do wine. I feel like you can kind of you can offer like multiple things too. Yeah. I feel like that would be common to have like I'm making spritzes, but like we also have white wine or rosé or beers. But apero is my favorite, like food wise, because it just has like all like the good like salty snacks that are so good in France. So like if I'm having people over for apero, usually what I do is I'll do like some saucisson, a bunch of pickles.
Do you want to explain what that is?
So how would you explain saucisson? Like Slim Jim in the U.S.? I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of. It's like a cured meat.
Like
sausage.
cured meat,
but like they look prettier.
Well, depend. Like you
you're
have
not
some that are
opening,
bite
like,
size. You have some that you
Slim
like
Jims
slice
and putting them out on a plate.
Yeah. I mean, they all kind of look different. Like you can get like the fancier ones. It's like the log, and you cut it, you slice it thinly.
Yeah, those look pretty. I think.
You can do like a lot of times people have like some kind of ham.
Yeah.
I usually do like a meat plate and then a cheese plate and a vegetable plate. So I'll have like some carrots, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and then maybe like something to dip it in, like a tzatziki or a guacamole. You can do cheese and baguette, just like kind of lots of little things. You lay it all out on the table and people can like
and it always
take what
pretty.
they want. Yeah. And it's just fun.
It's easy and fun.
Very easy too.
Yes.
The other thing with the apero is you can also have like an apero dînatoire, which is like an apero where you can stay and it's sort of like maybe you bring out like a quiche cut up small, like it leads into dinner.
Yes.
So there at an apero dînatoire, you just have more food and you wouldn't eat dinner that night.
And it's not like a sit down.
No. It would never
like
be sit down. Just like maybe you like take a plate and you're eating and then you come back and have some more. But very on the very like casual side.
Yes.
And those ones can definitely last longer because you're providing enough food for it to be dinner.
And then I was going to say they're probably staying into the way late evening.
Yes, much later.
Yes. Interesting.
And then the last one, I guess, would be dinner. But do you want to talk about dinner? Because I feel like you're fresh off.
I'm fresh off a lot
French
of
dinner.
Yes,
French
from this
dinners.
weekend and last weekend. And I also have been learning about like French etiquette for dinners and like what to kind of
teach me everything.
Only because I, as an American who somewhat recently moved here, I wanted to make sure I wasn't like not doing, the appropriate things. So anyways, the time I've learned is like, so if someone says come at 7, you never come early and you never come right at 7.
Yes.
So the ideal is to come like 15 to 20 minutes late. But I also learned if you're past 20 minutes late and it's getting into like half hour late for like, you absolutely need to notify the host because they typically in their head have like an order of events of when things should happen. So that's the time. I would say the other major difference for me compared to the US was kids. Like, so if you get invited to a dinner party, at least for me in the US, typically like I would assume kids are not part of it. Like I would immediately book a babysitter, where it's like the complete opposite in France. Like they don't have to say families. Like it's sort of implied that your kids are going to come with you to someone's house. Is that true?
I feel like the babysitter thing is so interesting because I feel like here people don't use babysitters
as
on the same at nearly at all the same scale as they do in the US. Like you would maybe get a babysitter if you're going like out to a nicer restaurant, but I feel like most of the time like kids either come and if you're going to someone's house, it's just like what you said, like kids are automatically included. They would have to clarify, don't like bring no kids allowed.
I guess is also they said considered kind of rude.
Yeah, it's like this for weddings too. Like kids are always invited to weddings here, and it's considered rude if they're not because it's like a family. It's a like family part of celebration.
The family celebration. Yeah. So that was different for me because now my kids have been coming and it's really late. Most of the
don't
time.
Think because kids are included, it's going to be an early night.
No, our this weekend the dinner party ended. We got home at like 1 a.m. with the kids.
Yeah.
So clearly. FYI, this is not like because the kids are there, you're out by 10. Okay, the other thing that I have learned is there's kind of like a course of events and way of doing things that is more common. So for example, typically at like a full dinner party, you'd have like the apero like in a separate room, at least in my experience. So you can correct me if this is different. Would be in like a separate room. It'd have like the olives,
I agree with
nuts, crisps. Yep. Yeah. Usually I've had champagne or someone might offer to make a spritz. But I've had typically mostly champagne.
I feel like champagne is really common.
Yeah.
To open a bottle of champagne.
We're in France and there's champagne like everywhere and it's delicious. And then typically, and one thing with the cheers, we should talk about how you cheers with a drink. So this was new to me and I still forget sometimes. But it's important in France. If you are going to say cheers, if you say sante and you look everybody in the eye, like very
you have to make direct
intensely.
Eye contact when your glasses
are clinking. Yes.
Otherwise, it's like I don't know if it's bad luck or if it's just rude.
It's rude and it's with everyone. So you're
with
going
everyone. So you have to go around the whole table. It's so intense.
It's really intense. And it's sante, and every glass has to click with every other glass. Like it's not just like who you're closest to.
Yes.
And then you can finally take your sip after everyone's
done it, but you never take a sip
looked
before
intensely
doing
in the
it.
eye.
Yes.
But don't take a sip before that, and that's considered
I
rude.
think this is the other thing too that I've noticed is like normally people aren't like served a drink as they arrive. The drinks are served once everyone's there. And then they pour the drinks, but like don't take a sip of your drink until everyone has done the cheers. Otherwise, it's like terribly seen.
Yes. And it's interesting because this is also feeds into why it's bad to run late, because now you're making everybody
wait for you. Yes, true.
Before they can have their sip
drink
of champagne. So anyways, I would say that's the other thing just as you're going through this.
I guess it makes sense with the champagne too, because you don't want to like open you open the champagne, you want to pour it all at the same time.
Yeah, and it's cold and like it's perfect at that time. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and then I would say the order of operations is like you have your apero in a separate room, usually like a living room. I've been, and then you move to like
the dining
room, which is typically like a little, I wouldn't say like super fancy, but like more formal than like it's not like a kitchen table that people are just kind of throwing food at. Like it feels like everyone has a place
I know what
they
you mean.
sit,
Like a dining
and
room
it's like
table.
set nice. And usually what you'll find on the table is always like a carafe d'eau, which is just, I would say, lukewarm water in a like glass container.
Yes.
Like a faux pas of a don't would be to serve like ice water.
Yeah, French people don't like
ice. And they actually, isn't there some sort of superstition against like too cold of,
I think
or
it's
like
just
bad for digestion.
Bad for digestion or bad for your health or makes you sick. I don't know what it is. But they hate AC and they hate ice.
Yes.
And this was like so weird because just about the no ice thing, because we went to a couple weekends ago, we went through the McDonald's drive-thru and I got a Diet Coke.
Okay.
And my husband, there's no ice in it.
No.
And it's in like one of those latte cups that you sip. So there's not even a straw.
What?
And so we got home and like we had gotten food too. And we were going to eat at home, like not in the car because we were just driving home. And I immediately went to the freezer to get ice for my drink because it's gross. It's like I took a sip of it.
Warm?
It's warm and it's really syrupy. Like I'm used to like a very like a fizzy, watered down fizzy Diet Coke.
That's really
and I went
cold.
to put ice in my husband's and he was like, no. He's like, I hate it with ice. He was like, it ruins the flavor.
That's so interesting.
And he's also like, it's a ripoff because when they pour so much ice in, you get so much less.
Okay, well, I guess
but like,
that's probably true.
But like, that's like what the French people think. I'm like shocked. You go to McDonald's and you get no ice in your fountain soda. Like I
feel like
go
that's
for
the whole
ice.
premise of a fountain soda.
Like
you can put as much ice as you in those filler.
So just don't serve French people ice.
Yes.
Sorry for
I would say sorry for the sidebar, but that's actually a very good point.
But it's just like, that was crazy to me. I was shocked.
No, I have a French tutor who comes over every Thursday morning and I'm always putting ice in my water. And the first time I did it in her, she was like, like looked at me like, why are you putting ice in my water? And I'm like, okay, sorry, it's just so common that I would serve ice water.
And if anyone here that's listening is French, I would like, if you're in the US, there's probably going to be like ice water on the table for everyone.
Yeah. I don't think people are like being rude or that they are thinking you want. It's just how we drink water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I would say you'd always have like bread as part of in a basket or like a cut up baguette. And then you also, the interesting thing I thought was so different when I moved here. You don't leave your butter out. Like that would be very strange to have like a butter dish with butter out, like on a counter or on a dinner table. Tell me if this is true. Like
no, I've never been somewhere where there's butter served with bread at dinner. It's just bread on the side, no butter.
And it's maybe olive oil, but not normally.
Yeah, I don't even think I've ever.
I don't think I've ever even had olive oil. I think the idea, and tell me if I'm wrong, is like if there's a sauce, you would then
to soup
up. Yeah, soupe.
There's a verb for like soaking up the sauce.
There's actually a verb for that. It's soupe,
right?
Yeah, which means to leverage bread
to like, get the sauce.
Get the sauce.
Yeah, that's what the bread is for.
Interesting. There's definitely no word for that in English. You would say like soak up the sauce.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there's a direct verb. If there is,
let us know that we are in our English language. So that would be another difference. Like you wouldn't have butter out. And then I would say like as the meal goes on, so you've had your apero, you move into the dining room. Sometimes there's like an entree, which would be like an appetizer, and it would be more. I would say, at least for me, it's been more like a little amuse-bouche, like something small that's on everyone's plate.
I don't know if I've ever had one because I feel like feel like it always, for the ones I've been to, it goes right to the main dish.
Yeah. Or I think that's probably more common.
But I'm sure you could do, maybe if you've had a lot of food with the champagne, then you wouldn't do it. Maybe if you haven't had anything, maybe you would have it. I don't know.
And then I would say then it's time for the plot, like the main dish. I'm just going to give an example of what it was this weekend, but I think there's probably a range of things. But I would say it's normally like a meat, a vegetable, and a potato, or rice, like some sort of starch, at least that I've had.
Yeah,
but
probably.
So this time they had like duck confit, which is like duck legs kind of, right?
I don't know. I've never had it.
Have you never had it?
No.
It's really good, actually.
It
I prefer
sounds
the
good.
magret du canard better, just like a duck breast. But
Yep.
it was good. And then like really nice like pomme de terre, like potatoes, and then a vegetable. And the kids are served the same meal. So don't expect,
I've never
like,
been over someone's house where they served like a kid's dinner and adult dinner. It was always the
They're
same.
not going to like make stovetop mac and cheese for your kids. Like the kids are going to eat the same like meal, whether they like it or not. It's not the host's job to like please the child, I would say. Like if the child doesn't eat it, like there's bread, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that's true. Like when my daughter hasn't liked stuff, she just has bread or like,
versus
whatever.
I feel like when I've hosted in the US, like I definitely cook a separate meal for the kids. And I feel like if a kid doesn't like something, I'm like, oh, okay, does he want this instead? Or she want that? We've got this, and that. Like, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's sort of pleasing the child. That's not ideal, but I've definitely done that. Like I've made multiple
I'm trying to
types
think
of
like
food.
when my daughter was really little, I feel like if you have a very young child, it's like your responsibility to bring
like it's a baby or something
them.
for sure.
Yeah. But I would say like from once they're like 3 and up, they probably are eating the same stuff.
Yeah. So that was another difference. And then what is interesting, I think, compared to the US is after your main dish, it's not immediately to dessert. There is then the cheese platter with a very garlicky salad.
Yeah, so you serve the salad and then like probably 3 different types of cheeses.
Yeah, like a soft cheese, hard cheese.
Yep.
Normally, like I would say like a pungent, like a blue cheese.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And so you have like a plate of salad. So you have a new plate with the salad on it, and then you can have some cheese. And then I feel like there's like kind of a pause.
Then there's like another hour that goes by at least.
So what time are we at now? Like 11?
So I would say this past Friday we got a main course at 10, the cheese at 11. We probably had dessert at like midnight.
I think that makes sense. And then after, because the salad is supposed to help you like cleanse your palate and help with digestion.
Okay.
And then the cheese. And then, usually you have the dessert and everyone, I feel like people stop drinking then too.
Yeah.
Like
they move to coffee, like a cafe.
Or tea. Sometimes they'll offer. And then the dessert.
Yes. Which is normally like, you want to explain like a tart or something?
I don't know. I feel like, I've had so many different things, but I feel like normally it would be like, I've had like fruit, depending on like what's in season too.
For
like
sure.
I've had like fruit tarts or sometimes like a cake with like strawberries on it and like some whipped cream. But I feel like it's sort of elevate. Like it's always like kind of like a nice looking cake. And it doesn't always mean that they made it themselves. Like maybe they bought it from a nice patisserie.
Yeah.
And then sometimes people will also ask like, we'll do the dinner, but then they'll ask you to bring dessert. So maybe it's something that you've picked up from a nice bakery.
Right.
But
this weekend I was telling Isabel, I assume like a homemade dessert is like nice, like a nice thing to do. So I baked like brookies, like they were like chocolate brownie cookie bars, which was like very American. And then I made the mistake of also bringing it over in like the pan because I wanted them to heat it up, like just warm it in the oven. And then I brought vanilla ice cream. It was like
a little ice cream sundae.
It was like a
brownie
little
sundae.
Brownie ice cream sundae, which I feel like now that I'm thinking back is like a child's dessert. And this was like a nice dinner party. And I
don't know if it's the best match with the duck confit.
It was definitely a bit of like I think they looked at me like, this is really bizarre. Because then he was heating it in the oven and he kept asking me like, well, how warm should this get? And I was like, no, like warmer. Like it should be like the ice cream should melt on it. And it was probably like very bizarre. But
oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Anyways, so I would say like where that I feel like is a nice gesture in the US, it was probably considered a little. They were very nice about it, but probably considered a little bizarre.
I mean, I don't
Do you agree?
No, I don't. I mean, I think it's probably just different. Like it's like not what a dessert that someone would normally bring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like also you're American. You have different things because I feel like for like, I don't know. I feel like apple pie with ice cream is like a super popular
American
dessert, like brownies.
And I feel like if you made the effort to like bake it yourself, like from scratch, like which I did, I was like, that should be like applauded a little. But I feel like here, because the patisseries are so good and the desserts are so good, that you're honestly probably better off buying. Do you agree?
Yeah. I mean,
I just am now
I think
like,
if you're good, I think if you're a really good baker.
No, I'm not.
Then,
this probably looked like I made it for children.
But also, you know what though? I kind of disagree because yes, you can definitely buy something beautiful from
and they
a pastry
look
shop.
So pretty.
But there's also like a lot of pretty simple to make like French desserts that if you could learn like one or two.
Do you have a special one that you do?
I mean, I do like the yogurt cake a lot, but you can kind of elevate it too. You can like put some powdered sugar on it.
Oh, never made that.
What else have I done? Like when it's strawberry season, I'll do like a strawberry rhubarb tart. Oh, that's really easy to make.
Okay.
Because you just basically cut it up and put it in one of those pre-made pie crusts.
Wow.
What else? The oh my gosh, what's it called? The cake where you put the apples on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I know
and then you pour the cake on top and you flip it over.
Good. It's like an upside down cake in English.
It's really good, but that's so easy to make too because you basically just like put the apples with sugar and butter in the bottom of a cake pan and put them in the oven, and then you pour the cake batter on top. And
I could do that.
It caramelizes. It's very like quick and easy.
Awesome. Okay.
But on the other hand, I also think that it's also nice to share your own culture. Like,
you're right. You're right.
Like French families are inviting you over. Like, it's also a moment to like learn from the other culture. And I think like if you're American couple in France and you have French people over, like don't feel like you need to play by their rules. Like,
no.
Like do it how you would do it because that's like part of the experience. Yeah. Like make tacos or do something totally different. If you do tacos, just make sure it's not too spicy though, because I've done that before where everything's so spicy and then
that just happened.
People, French people, I feel like they're just not as used to like very spicy foods. But yeah, do like your own thing. Yeah. And like that's part of the beauty of living in another culture and integrating into another culture too.
And I think if like a French family's willing to like, I would say come to an American's house or vice versa or invited you over, like they're probably open-minded.
They're already open, yeah.
They're already open to like, let's learn from you. Mm-hmm. And I would say, in fact, we just had our first kind of like French dinner party with 2 couples and their kids. And I was like, I'm making tacos. Like, I was like, we love Mexican food. And they were like, great. Like, I think that was like completely just unique and different and not something they get in France.
Yeah, it's so cool.
But I did make the mistake of making it too spicy, especially for the kids.
Yeah.
And then I realized like they also don't like melt cheese on tortillas. That's like very bizarre.
Yeah.
So it was just like a lot of probably things that were a bit strange.
Look, it's also like it's new foods that people don't know. So you have that risk too, but it's also like, you know,
I think people appreciate it. We made margaritas like from scratch that your husband loves.
Yeah, my husband loves Kim's margaritas. He talks about them all the time.
I said I perfected like the perfect like lime squeeze with like homemade simple syrup during COVID. And now I'm like brought it to France.
The queen.
Yes.
Also, while we're talking about this, I feel like it's a good moment because we were kind of talking about this, I think it was Saturday night.
Okay.
So because I feel like it can be hard to get the invite over to a French family's house for dinner. And I thought we could just touch on that. Like, if you're listening to this and you haven't been invited anywhere by French people, don't take it personally. I feel like the longer I'm here, the more I understand it too. It's just that like so many English speakers come to France for a year just to like change it up, but they're not there to stay. Right. And I completely understand. I think a lot of French people, my experience at least has been, if they meet me like at school, they're pretty like, they'll say hello, but not very open.
Yep.
And then the minute they realize that my husband is French, it's like, they're like a little bit more open because I feel like that shows like a little bit more commitment to the culture. And then when they realize that like I've been here for 6 years and that I speak French, it's like, oh, okay, they're even a little bit more open. But I think it's mainly they just don't want to open themselves up and open their homes and share their lives with someone who's there for a year because they see it as like kind of what's the point.
Yeah. And at first I was like, I don't understand that. Like you should get to know someone no matter what. And I still somewhat share that perspective, but I also can see from their side of things, it's like the transient nature of it makes it not willing, like they're less willing to invest the time to get to know that person, I think. I would say for us, like the French families that we know are basically their parents of one of my children's friends. And so naturally there's like a connection because they're best friends with
Yeah,
that
and like they want to know
child,
the
and then
family
they
of
want to know the family that they're hanging out with, and I would say also the other thing, most of these families have lived elsewhere besides France, so like meaning in the UK or like Cambodia or somewhere.
That makes it much easier if they've had the expat experience and they know like what it's like to move somewhere.
Yes, for sure.
I think that definitely helps because I think it's pretty hard to like break into those like families that have like people that have grown up in the region, had their whole life here, have their whole family
they
and
just
friends
wouldn't
here.
Probably
they're maybe just not maybe not
that
interested.
Yeah.
And I also get it because especially in this region, I feel like a lot of people come for a year.
Yeah.
Because there's so much to enjoy. And if you're going to go, like, I completely understand wanting to, like, I don't know, I could see like one, like for me, I would love to spend like a year in London or a year in Mexico City, just trying something new.
Yeah.
And you're there for a year, you want to do everything. But I think you can't expect like French people to welcome you in and entertain you. And then like, you leave and go back to your life. Like this is their full life.
Totally. That's fair. I think that's fair. But I would say also like, don't be shy about like you and I have talked about this, like inviting over a French family because you're nervous about
why
like,
not? Just ask.
Why not? And the worst that's going to happen is they say no.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth, like, I think we've talked about this, but it sometimes takes like a French family's a little bit longer to warm up and like be friendly. In fact, this French mom just joked with me 2 weekends ago and said, she was telling her daughter who's French, she said, no, when an American comes up to you or she said, and they're going to say, hi, how are you? With a big smile. She said, so, and her daughter's like 9 or 10. And she was like, so you should always smile back and say, I'm well. How are you? So she was
funny.
Teaching her because she said I said, really? Like I said, is that kind of bizarre? And she was, it's just overwhelming for a French child to have an American approach them, like especially an adult, and come up with them and be like, hi, so-and-so, good to see you. How are you? And that's like,
yeah, it's true. I feel like
it was just so funny because I was like, what should I do? I go, what do the French do? And she's like, you just wouldn't like be so, I guess, forward and like, you wouldn't be like smiling from ear to ear and have this like high pitched tone of, so nice to see you. So anyways, I just found that kind of funny.
That is
like,
really funny.
She had to like tell her
always, like,
daughter.
I don't know. Like I'm thinking now, like when I see you and your kids, I'm like, I
like
say
we
hi
always
to them,
do
like,
that to each other.
Yeah.
And even when I go back to the US, like it's my friend's kids or something, I'm like, oh, hey, blah, 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 like, how are you? And I think American kids are used to that type of interaction, but I didn't realize as an adult approaching a French child that is not.
Could be overwhelming.
Very overwhelming. Yeah. So I've toned it down a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Okay. I think our last, did you want to talk a little bit about?
Should we do some do's or don'ts quickly?
Yes. Okay.
I feel like we've concluded the dinner party.
Oh, actually, but we forgot, what do you bring?
Yeah, but isn't that kind of do's and don'ts?
All right. Okay. Yes. Go.
So I feel like the do's would be always message the host and ask like, what can I bring?
Yeah.
Because sometimes they will say like, oh, could you bring baguette or could you bring dessert? Something like that. And if they say like, no, everything's all set. I mean, regardless, you should always bring something.
Flowers and wine, I think.
Yeah. I feel like either wine or champagne.
Yeah.
Is usually what like the man will like give to the man host. Is that weird?
A little.
Like usually, I don't know. My husband
just
will,
the host.
The host. My husband will usually like choose the wine and give it to the other husband, and then I'll bring like flowers or maybe like nice chocolates or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's more. I think that's like it would be considered very rude to show up with nothing. But I think that's the same in the U.S. Like I would not
never
ever
go somewhere unless like. I don't know. I was coming to your house and there was like,
that's different.
Like something had happened and there was some reason why like I didn't, but I would say
in general,
you always bring
something. Yeah.
And what else?
I would say the other thing that's different, I think in the US, this could go back and forth, but a lot of times like you kind of walk into someone's house and you ask like, do you want me to take my shoes off? Like just to be polite, especially if they have young children, like crawling babies. Here, like I've never taken my shoes off. Have you? Like I think that would be considered weird. No,
I feel like I definitely have.
You've taken your shoes off.
Yeah, okay. I think it depends. Like if you walk in and you see everyone's shoes by the door.
Yeah, I know.
Then it's like you offer. If everyone has their shoes on, I wouldn't offer to take my shoes off. But there's been a few times where I've definitely.
You have? Okay. I've never.
Yeah, like I feel like when I go to people's houses, I like always try to make sure I have socks on or something.
Just
because you never want to be like barefoot with no pedicure.
Because you're exactly like that would be super embarrassing. So I think that's just like one thing.
But maybe I don't really. Also, it could be more of like a Paris versus Provence thing because I feel like in Paris, everyone, it's kind of dirty. Like it's apartment living. You take your shoes off at the door. I don't think I ever went over someone's house in Paris where they didn't take their shoes off.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess this,
it's like New York. Like you don't like walk around New York City and then wear your subway shoes through the house. I mean, maybe you do. I never did.
Yeah. I don't, maybe I was trying to think. I like the past two I just attended, everyone had their shoes on, especially I had like a low heel. Like I was kind of like, it would have been weird for me to walk around.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Anyways. Well, okay. So that's one thing. TBD, I guess.
Yeah.
Play that one by ear. And then I would say the other,
don't leave too early.
Yes. That's another big one.
I feel like that's that could be poorly seen if you like have dinner and then like maybe you're not hungry or like you're tired or your kids are tired.
Like put on Netflix. Don't leave.
Yeah. Try even I feel like a lot of times kids will like go to sleep on the couch.
For sure.
But yeah, I think it's like people might feel like something's wrong if they can sense you're trying to leave early. Like I would say like give it like just go into it knowing you're probably not leaving before midnight.
Totally. And be prepared for like the multiple courses.
Yes. Yeah. So don't eat too much at the beginning. Like pace yourself.
Because
the food keeps coming.
It's also, I think, like my preference would not be to eat cheese and salad after I've had my main dish, but I do it because I feel like it's rude if I don't. At least
you don't have
help
to eat
myself
a
little. No, just like
usually
a little
I just
bit.
take like one little piece of each type of cheese, like a little piece of baguette and a salad.
No, I agree.
And
I would say the other couple things that you and I were talking about, like I think a lot of American homes are like really well lit. Like it can be kind of bright. Like that's also not, I would say, great for a dinner party, just in general, probably in the US, but also in France. Like I've seen much more like candles, like more dimly lit, like music is interesting because the past,
I don't know if I've ever heard music.
I was going to say the past two dinner parties, nobody played music.
But I don't know. I guess I haven't been to a lot of dinner parties in the US because I was still so young when I lived in the US. But I don't know. Have you ever been to a dinner party in the US and like music is blasting during dinner?
No, but there was always music.
Like some kind of background
noise.
Kind
of background music. And I noticed like 2 weekends ago, I think because they don't want it to drown out the conversation, but if no one was talking, it was like dead silent.
Oh, okay.
Like a little awkward.
I feel like maybe me and my husband always have like something playing.
We always have something playing in the background too.
Yeah, I think we do have something playing in the background.
So I guess the other thing would be don't be alarmed if it's really quiet. I mean, it's not like really quiet. There's conversation, but I just mean like you're not gonna have like a beat going or
no. I do feel like it's more formal in that sense. And French people are just much more quiet in general. Yeah. Like even with my husband, he's very Americanized, I would say, and he talks so quietly.
He does talk quiet.
I have to read his lips. Like I tell him this all the time. I'm like when we're talking, like I'm listening, but I'm also reading your lips because it's so quiet, and I'm American and I'm semi-deaf. I find myself
leaning in when your husband speaks.
He speaks very quietly, and I mean, even on my walk here, I was walking behind this like young girl who was on the phone, and she was right next to me, and I couldn't even make out what she was saying. Whereas like, you know, if you're walking on the phone behind me, I'm sure you can hear my whole conversation.
You could probably hear my whole conversation for sure.
So people just talk quietly. So maybe that's the music thing too.
That could be part of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I think, let's see, the only
American dinner parties are much more boisterous, like,
and like lively,
laughing, loudness.
And I would say you're
a little
not
more not unhinged. Just like
I would say like casual. Like there's not as many like rules ish.
Yeah, less formal.
Less formal.
I feel like the conversations can also be quite serious.
Yeah, they can for sure.
Yeah.
You mean in France?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could
you
could
do that.
Although I think you typically, like at least the dinner parties I've been to in the US, you kind of avoid topics.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the French would like go for the topics.
Yes,
like
because
politics
I feel like they're just more comfortable
with the conversation. Yes, for sure. So that's an interesting difference as well.
Yeah.
But yes, and I would also say that in the US, like people don't necessarily just like stop drinking when it's like coffee time. Like they can go into like drinking more wine if the wine's open, etc. So it's a little bit like different in terms of the drinking patterns.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's more like paired with the food.
Yeah, for
maybe, but you know what I have actually seen is like a different drink come out with dessert, like
I've never seen
like
that.
What's that Italian one, like an amaretto or like offering
a
offering like a little, what's it called, a digestive,
digestive,
like one of those types of drinks with the dessert. I've seen that.
Okay, I would say that's kind of common, like even at a restaurant, like that's on menus and things like that.
Yeah, it's true.
So Well, great. I think that was kind of wrapping up our French entertaining.
Yeah. Are you feeling up to hosting a dinner party soon?
I'm not.
Don't be I'm asleep at 8:39.
Don't be intimidating. I've actually had a really wonderful time the last two.
Yeah,
like
it's
not, it's still enjoyable. And like, I, usually am like, that was fun and just interesting.
Look, it's
to hear
also just like, it can definitely be intimidating going over, knowing you have to speak French.
Yes.
And just not, with new people, I think even like if you're in the US with English speakers,
sure.
going over to
I'm
a new
always
person's house you don't really know. I don't know. Sometimes I can be like a little reserved or shy, like just not knowing what to expect.
For sure.
Then add in a different language and just already knowing that there's going to be like misunderstandings. You're going to say things differently. It like sometimes it's scary sometimes.
Of course. And I think most of it for me, because my French is not fluent, it's a combination of French and English.
Yeah.
Typically the French families that we have been closer with have spoken better English than our French.
I mean, I think at your level, it's kind of a necessity.
Yeah, I would say
not that you have a bad, because I think you actually have a decent level.
I'm not gonna be able to have a full dinner party right now in French.
Like I have a decent level of French, and still a dinner party is hard.
It's because it's fast. I would say
I can keep up for the first hour or two, but by hour 4, like my brain is so tired. It's like I'm barely even able to listen.
For sure. So I would say my experience has been like Franglish, but also probably much more on the English side. So okay, well, let us know what you thought, and if you have any other tips about French entertaining.
Yes, let us know. And then this is our kids' last week of school
before the
break. So I'm going to the US for 2 weeks.
Yay.
You have family coming. Yes. So our next episode after this will probably be the last week of April.
Yes. So,
but we can't wait
stay tuned
to talk to you then.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.